I've not seen any Republicans stand up for the hardworking federal workforce.
I get it. There's a lot of people in this room that don't support what DOGE is doing. But for the first time, we are making some progress identifying places that we can reduce the budget.
I'm a lawyer and a retired Internal Revenue Service employee for 27 years. I was in the state and gift tax attorney. I know auditing. On day one, federal employees take an oath of office to the Constitution of the United States. Over the last 2 months, I've heard the president and Republicans besmirch the integrity and work ethic of federal employees. I've not seen any Republicans stand up for the hardworking federal workforce. DOGE, Elon Musk, and the president, as well as the Republicans, are looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. None of the members of DOGE are auditors. If they were, they would review data, arrive at preliminary determinations, ask questions, and make a final determination. If the process was being done correctly, we wouldn't have the hiring, firing, rehiring, firing, rehiring. There needs to be a thoughtful analysis of how we're doing these cuts. Sure, there's waste, but the way they're going about it, they're cutting people, and there's no plan for transfer of knowledge. So my question is, why are we allowing an unelected person, Elon Musk, to make decisions on our government agencies? And why are we giving a tax break to the people making over $1 million while harming the average citizen and those who need the most to be protected the most?
Hey, Taylor, would you do me a favor and paraphrase the end there? I had trouble hearing the last.
Why are we allowing Elon Musk to make these decisions? And why are we making tax cuts when we have a deficit like this for the people making over $1 million?
I want to reduce the burden on middle-class taxpayers. That's why I'm supporting the extension of the 2017 tax cuts. As it relates to the conversation we're having today about government efficiency, I get it. There's a lot of people in this room that don't support what DOGE is doing. But for the first time, we are making some progress identifying places that we can reduce the budget. And this is something we have to do as a country, as a nation. This doesn't go away unless we deal with the spending. Next question.
Okay, another question is, what are you doing to stop the activities of unelected and unconfirmed Elon Musk?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to note that every agency, for the most part, has a cabinet secretary that is ultimately responsible, and the executive branch, by and through President Trump, has said that ultimate responsibility for those agencies rests with the cabinet secretary and then ultimately with the president and the vice president of the United States. I know you disagree with what Mr. Musk is doing. I know you disagree with the way this is rolling out, but this is the process that we are using to find waste, fraud, and abuse. Next question.
We're getting a lot of similar questions that you've already answered. So here's one. You've stated that in the arena of sports, Republicans will continue to fight for the next generation of women. And how are you doing that?
Well, first and foremost, to protect the rights of women, we have to make sure that we keep boys out of women's sports. And an overwhelming majority of Americans believe that that is and should be the case.
All right, thank you. We will go to the mic.
All right, our next question is here.
Okay, I did want to thank you to start with for having this town hall. I know congressional leadership didn't want you to, so I appreciate that. But I actually want to talk more about Elon Musk. So why is Elon Musk a better person to audit our government for waste, fraud, and abuse than the inspectors general that Donald Trump fired? Because Elon Musk has conflicts of interest out the wazoo. He gets $40 billion a year in federal contracts from the federal government.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you slow down a little bit?
Elon Musk gets $40 billion a year in funding from the federal government. What makes you think that has no conflict of interest? That he has no conflict of interest? Do you think he would cut that before he would cut our Medicare or our Social Security or our jobs?
I support Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency. Next question.
Next question.
Next question right here.
20 to 40% of hospitals in Nebraska were at risk of closing prior to you voting for the budget proposal that will cut money from Medicaid. 1/3 of births, 43% of behavioral health services, 44% of all kids' services are covered by Medicaid in Nebraska. This will likely cause rural hospitals to close. I work in a tertiary care facility that receives desperately injured patients from rural hospitals who do not have the resources necessary to keep these patients alive. If these rural hospitals close, people will die needlessly. Why are you doing this to your constituents? Human lives are worth so much more than that stupid debt ceiling.
I just introduced a bill, I think 2 weeks ago, that would specifically provide resources to rural hospitals and our critical access healthcare system. We have a tremendous network of rural hospitals that have benefited from the critical access system. I have been working on behavioral health issues for 25 years. I grew up in a house with a mom who was on the mental health board and a dad who was a guardian and conservator for some of the most vulnerable mentally ill people in the community. I know how important those services are. I know how important it is to have access to inpatient, secure care. At the end of the day, we have to balance a lot of different interests. Number one is this. Number two is the services. The idea that this is not a consideration when we talk about how to navigate our future makes no sense to me. If we aren't dealing with this, we aren't dealing with the 800-pound gorilla in the room. This is going to take it all from us someday if it is left untouched. Next question.
All right, here's our next question.
You talk about national security, yet you have done nothing to stop Elon Musk and his little band of tech geeks. They went in and they had read-write access to the agencies, and that is a huge national security threat. I took enough computer classes to understand that it takes like 30 seconds of someone with an unsecured device in a building and connected to a mainframe to wreck everything. The fact that you have not done anything to stand up to him, and this talk of I support Trump, I support Elon Musk, that's not enough. Okay, we need actual action. We need actual cybersecurity experts to go in and make sure that our government is secure, because Trump is in the pocket of Putin and you are letting him continue.
Well, first and foremost, the premise of your question is going to be hard to answer because you've made your mind up about a number of things. But one of the things that you said was that I've done nothing as it relates to access to our treasury system. I have, on more than one occasion, had direct conversation with Treasury officials, including the Secretary of the Treasury. I'm on the Financial Services Committee. I have oversight jurisdiction over, as a member of that committee, over the U.S. Treasury system. And I have directly asked and gotten an answer from the Treasury Secretary as to the access that DOGE and its employees have. I also have confirmed that the people working in that agency or in that Department of Government Efficiency have passed the security tests. They have the appropriate clearances, and they are working under a president and a Treasury Secretary that has, the president's been elected by the American people, and the Treasury Secretary has been confirmed by the United States Senate.
Okay.
Next question.